Good morning, true art believers. This is Pearson here. It is another day in paradise. A Tuesday, a wonderful Tuesday, just bright and early. You know how it is. You know how it always is in the world of Pearson, which is basically the same thing every day. So today I'm going to take a little easy. I'm going to take a little break from my commissions and just do a little fun draw. I had this drawing I was working on. I'm not going to finish it. I just kind of do it casually for fun. Um, and we're going to see what happens. There's some things that I'm having trouble doing. Uh, and that's just because I don't know if I haven't set up a blending tool or if there's a smudge tool. I don't know where it's at. Um, so we're going to see what happens. I'm going to try to see if I can either smudge or blend something because there's this area on his stomach that is just, it's kind of like, it's all blurry. Anyways, let's get to it. Not blurry, but it's definitely going to be challenging because of layer issues, because of inexperience. Let's get to it. Alrighty. So let's see here. Okay, we're going to go in Photoshop. Now, what I've done is I set up another layer, and I don't know what was this. I had something. Oh, I think I have a smudge tool. That might be what I'm looking for. Let's try this. Was this the smudge tool? Smudge tool. Is there any other tools in the smudge section? Blur tool. Yes. That might be what I need. To have a blur tool to blur out this edge here. No. Background eraser, magic eraser, sharpen tool, mixer brush tool. What's that do? So I have all these. What's this mixer brush do? Whoa. It mixes. It doesn't do what I want it to do. I was thinking that it would like mix things together. Color replacement tool. Let's go back to the brush tools. What about the pencil tool? So I'm just looking at these different settings. It's kind of a waste of time right now because I'm not learning anything. Well, I am. I wish there was something to kind of like, maybe what I can do is I can take my airbrush, soft round airbrush, and blend this area. Because I need it softer. Because every time I use the what would you call it? The smudge tool might work. So what I was having trouble with was there's this you see that suture there? That's because I was doing all these changes on the layers and I erased it and I don't know how to blend it together. So I'm going to use this smudge tool to kind of soften this area up. I think this might be what I have to do, unfortunately. And then I can go over it maybe and it not really wreck anything. It's just something I think might be the thing that I need to do. Maybe if I do a wider. So basically the hiccups are kind of softened up. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do in this situation because of my lack of knowledge in this drawing, or like in program, my lack of knowledge with the program. So like I'm like trying to draw with this thing and like, oops, I messed up with the layers, and so here I am. I'm not going to get this drawing done because I was just, all these drawings right here are just experiments, and it's already at the edge of like my ability, like knowledge. It's like not necessarily my ability, but kind of like knowledge with the program, right? And so yeah, so we're just trying to figure out what we can do. Maybe I can do the airbrush tool again, expand that tool set, soft round airbrush, and kind of go on the shadows layer 2, which is basically just going to be am I on the layer? Oh, wrong layer. Where's the color tester? I could have sworn. Okay, well this, oops. So I used to think, oh, that's why I was having troubles. I was like, what's going on here? I'm on the brush, so whenever there we go. I was on the smudge tool, and because I was on the smudge tool, I couldn't grab the tone that I was looking for. There's this brush tool that I had. What's this do? Oh, foliage. That might be cool. Where are all these brushes coming from? That's just, that's how little I know. There was that's special effects. No wonder. Okay. This is how little I know about the program here. I had the brush that I was using that was working really good. It was like a blending. Where'd my blending brush go? Well, isn't that something? There is a special effects blushers. What is this brush? It's Kyle's all-purpose blending, maybe? I can't see the whole text. All-purpose blend. Okay, we're going to do that again. We're going to shrink it down. Oh, I'm actually renaming it. No, stop that. I wish. Oh, I'm causing so many problems. I wish I knew how to reset that actually, because that's not what I wanted, you know? Wow. Maybe there's something I need to do. I don't know. This is all learning experience to me. So I'm just trying to mitigate all of this so that it's some sort of like flat tone that I can kind of work with. That there we go. I think this might work actually. Just making it a very inconsistent surface to work with, so that when I work on it again, it won't be. I'll be at like square one, and that's where I wanted to be here, because it was I messed up because I was doing some adjustments with the drawing here. I'm sorry it took me so long to figure this out, because it's just be 10 minutes to figure out like what I was doing, like, and I went through a whole list of just problems, like what is this? I went to Kyle's concept all-purpose blend brush that was in like preset in Photoshop, and then I accidentally pressed some keys, and now I was like renaming it. I didn't know you can rename it, uh, and then I realized that if you're in the blending, if you're in the smudge tool section, wait, if you're in a smudge tool section, what's this thing? If you're in the smudge tool section where you're going to smudge the area, it will what will it do? It won't allow you to color test. And I was trying to color test in the wrong field, and I was like, what? Why can't I color test any of this stuff? You know? So apparently I'm just learning like certain like ways that you just is like common knowledge to the average person. It's not really coming to me. It's like, what is going on here? So all of this, it took me 10 minutes, and I haven't really got anywhere where I wanted to be. So we'll just kind of, now I think we're at a spot where I can kind of first, where's that layer? Okay, we're just gonna call this under drawing so I can kind of deal, and then we'll put it like 20%, because it's kind of bugging me. All right, so I made another layer called Shadows 3 just because of all the mistakes I made. Now I think I might be able to start. Maybe. I mean, we might be okay, because this whole bottom area is supposed to be darker, so. So I'll be able to get away with a little bit more, I guess. You know, this character, like this it looks like Charizard, like a I feel so ashamed. It looks like Charizard. I didn't mean it for it to be like that, but I guess it's because I drew a lot of Pokemon back in the day. I mean, not even back in the day. It was like only a couple of years ago, but like I was drawing Pokemon, and it kind of looks like Charizard, but well, you know, it looks like a good one. It's a good looking Charizard. But that's about it. But yeah, I didn't mean for it to happen. I've never really been good at like hands, especially ones that are like only 3 fingers. But then again, I just don't sit back and draw hands. That's a new layer, just to kind of see where I need to go. Maybe. Ugh. Like, it makes no sense. They have 3 hands. They have 3 claws. Like, how's that work? Like, dude, I would have to see like an example of like a lizard's hand or something. I think they have like those, like a triangular, kind of a triangular like base. but you know, it's all. I might even make his deltoid bigger. You think I'm gonna make his deltoid bigger? Uh, it might need to be a smidge bigger. Let's kind of see what it looks like in this layer and see. No. What if I were to just kind of do it a little bit bigger? No, I think it's actually kind of fine like that. Anyways, let's just play with value. We're just going to play with value, you know? Because that's what today is all about, just learning how to play with value. And I might even use like, nope, I don't even need to. I was going to use like a charcoal to really darken this area, but I think I can get the dark tones that I'm looking for. Yeah, this is kind of fun. I'm having fun with this. It's just something to do. Like I think after this drawing session of probably an hour and a half, I'll just call it a day with this drawing and take what I learned and try to apply it to a new one, you know? Because I learned quite a bit, especially with like some of the way that the program kind of functions. I was like, why can't I select like alts? The key alt is supposed to allow me to select a color, but for some reason it wasn't allowing me to do that, and I learned like, well, you can't be on a different setting. You can't just arbitrarily press alt and have a color setting. You have to be in the brush tool for that to work, and I didn't know that, you know. So, and I'm coming off as like kind of a buffoon. Like, what the heck is this guy doing? You know, he's doing all these things and he's not making any sense. So all this is really new. I'm not really if you've seen some of my paintings, you'll see that this is a huge separation from like what I paint. You know, right now I'm doing abstract paintings. So like you'd be hard pushed to find an abstract painter do not necessarily hyper detailed, but you do detailed work like this, you know? It's not often, you know, that you see that. Like literally it's like I'm using glitter. I'm using glitter and paint splatters. You know, I'm the whole 9 yards. It does not look, it's like a complete 180 from this stuff. So like, you know, this is kind of I like to do a little bit of both, a little bit of everything. You know, I like to really push myself with type of illustrative type work, and then like the do stuff that is more laid back, like that painting style is more laid back. You know, it's not less it's not like it's less stressful, but it's definitely there's less it's not like, oh, if I don't make this paint look messy in this fashion, then I'm in big trouble. It's more like, oh, the painting didn't turn out the way I thought it would, you know. Perhaps I should be a little bit more. I know a little bit more what these wings kind of look like. But sometimes it's kind of good to kind of just. I think it's helping me to kind of think off the cuff of what they might look like. It's loosened me up, and that's what I'm kind of looking for. Just a little bit, just a little bit. This is just a nice break. If you've done as many portraits and commissions that I've had this past 6 months, you'd be like, yeah, you need a break. You need to do something a little bit. You need to do you, bro. And I'm like, yeah, I know, bro. And so I'm doing me. I'm just doing a few things. I'm just kind of chillaxing today. With chillaxing with the drawings. And I'm not in a rush. This drawing, I might continue it, I might not. Who knows? Uh, it is what it is, and if I do continue it, great. If I don't, oh well. I've never really been like a versatile. I don't know. Maybe I've been. Maybe I'm pretty versatile, but so I'm on the details layer where the details layer is more like line quality and aspects of hatching. Just adding little things, and then I bounce back between details and shadow. Um, just the kind of. I don't know. I don't know why I do that. It just feels like the right method right now until I get more information on how to properly do a drawing like this. Then right now this is going to be the way I do it for a while, and I probably have to research more. That's one of my weak spots is researching. I don't watch other people draw as much as I probably should, or see how all the YouTube videos where they explain their methods. And I probably should because I actually enjoy that because people are pretty like as artists we can be typically pretty stubborn. We're like we don't want to change our own method. Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We got that type of mentality. A lot of us do, you know. Um, Not when we're starting out, but when we start getting developing some competent like some confidence and some competence in our work, we get more and more like rigid and more strict, and we uh, at least this is how I view it. Like we kind of lock ourselves out, you know. So I'm doing a little bit more hatching, like this hatching in certain areas to see what happens, you know. And this is just like a nice little break, you know. Mm. Okay, let's do some value. We'll go to shadows and so I like to take this more of a take this brush and like make it really really large because I think that it really works pretty well just to kind of do this. To add, you know, it really does work pretty well. Like it works pretty well. Yeah, it works really well. Yeah, just adding these little details, you know. I gotta fix that hand. I don't know what to do with it. Again, if I don't get to it, I'm not gonna be too upset. This is like just a giant sketch, and if I can get a little bit more done with it, that's great. But I'm not gonna lose sleep over finishing it because I have a million and one other drawings to do, and whether or not I don't finish a kind of like just a side doodle is going to be low on my radar. You know, and sometimes it's good to just kind of sit back and enjoy being able to just do some kind of low. I always say like it's not low labor, like hard, like it's not like it's not difficult, but it devotes less on your of your mental fatigue because you're just kind of casually doing the drawing, you know, right? So I want to go to the details and fiddle around with this hand. I think I got kind of I got a little crazy with the hand here, but I think I have it. And maybe in the future when I do something like this, I will spend a little bit more time on the underdrawing, just a little bit, so I can kind of get the details mapped out a little bit better using the marker or the airbrush tool or what it is. But I think it's fine for what it is, you know. It's not going to be it's that's ugly. Maybe maybe it does this. It goes in and then it does something like that. And then this one would do the same right here or something like that. Now all this means nothing because it's kind of blurry with all the extra lines kind of blocking it. And that's what happens when you try to do your sketching on your details layer. So that's what you don't do. You don't do your sketching on the details layer. Ew, it looks ugly. Yuck. From far away. I'll just stick to the body, please? I don't want to mess with the hands. Because I'm not going to resolve them in the time frame. This is not going to happen by in the hour that I work on it. No, it's just not going to get done. Yeah, it's just not going to get done with not to the level that I want it. I would have to really spend some time. I'd have to erase the hand and start all over. But the arm is okay. I might work on the arm. I'll work on the arm a little bit. Um, yeah, the hand is not resolved. Both the hands are not really resolved. That's going to take some time, and I don't know if I'm willing to devote that time to kind of fiddle around with it, because hands are my weak spot, and I can do them okay, but they take me a little while, and I'm kind of doing a bad thing here, which is ignoring it. But I also don't want to spend the bulk of my time kind of problem solving like the hand at the moment. I just don't have that patience at the moment, because I just want to. I'll do the next one. I'll probably have better success with the next one because I'll start it differently. You know, I'll start it differently. I won't have. I would spend a little bit more time on the underdrawing, really getting some of those things kind of mapped out, and then I'd go from there. But I'm not going to do it on this drawing because again, it's just this is kind of just like a fun little drawing, kind of just a little study that I'm applying some new techniques that I didn't even consider. Like I didn't consider using the blur tool and blending tool to merge certain of these graphite like this type of brush really is hard to blend together. If you do something like this and you try to do, never mind. If you do two layers and you have a hard edge, it's hard to blend those layers together. So I'm just kind of taking it easy and using it, just taking learning the like physics of this brush style, and then seeing how I can work with it and how I can make it better, how I can use it to my benefit. And so, like, the okay, now that I look at the claws from now, they look okay. But what I think what I'll do is I'll kind of mask the details in like dark tones. We'll just mask it in dark tones like that. Yeah, so just using it, seeing how I can get loose a little bit. So I don't know. I really think probably what's making this feel awkward is it needs to be farther out, like this arm. Because you got these long forearms, you know? There we go. Something a little bit farther. So his hand would be um I think I would do better if I were to make like at least like three claws and like one thumb. That way I can kind of understand it. I actually would have to see like iguana hands where they have like these weird long fingers or something like that. I would have to get like a reference of iguana hands or something to really understand uh understand the yeah, because look, it looks awkward because he's only got three fingers, so it's gonna look weird, like this, you know. You see, like that. So you can understand why I feel weird about it. Anyways, maybe this needs to be drawn out a little bit further. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, I'm thinking about like such micro things that it really doesn't matter. Okay, let's go and play around some more. What's this? What's that layer? Oh, I know what that layer is. I'm gonna go into details again and taper it down and go around the stomach area and do some stomach things. I know some of my customers might be a little upset that I'm doing this instead of their work, but you gotta you gotta have a day where you don't feel like you're working for other people all the time, and we all have those days. We all work for other employers, or not all of us, but a fair majority of us, right? We need a day where we can just kind of like chill and do something that's kind of like for you. Like this is not necessarily for me, but this is kind of like just a something fun to do and something I get a little bit of I learn a little bit from. And if I'm if I want to learn, if I want to improve, this is only going to transfer to my digital portraits. It's only going to make my portraits better, you know. I don't know about that. That hatching feels weird, but I might keep it simply because it feels weird, and maybe because the hatching, I don't know, maybe it needs something else in it. Uh, it might need. I don't know what's going to need, but it needs something. So the farther away that I get from the head, the more kind of loose I get with my hatching and my mark making. And that might be a strategy I do in these drawings simply because it might allow me to do the drawing quicker while reducing the amount of detail as I veer away from areas of that I don't really necessarily want to spend time on, or from areas that um, I don't want to spend time on. What would be like areas that are less important to me? You know, like you don't need to have detail. Like it does your whole drawing doesn't need to be a mass, like just a list of detail, right? It doesn't need to be all that. It can be, it could just be, there can be detail. What doesn't have to be all detail, right? You don't have to put details everywhere just for detail's sake. I mean, you can do that if that's your prerogative, but I find that to be kind of a pain in my butt. Nah, pain in it just be is kind of a pain. Although this up here is working really good. The head really works really well. Let's go back to the detail section and work on the head some more. Maybe tighten this up some. If I'm going to have one really good thing out of this drawing, it's going to be the head. You know, if I'm not going to finish it, might as well have a really good head in the drawing, and then that way people can imagine what it might look like if it was finished. With the same type of um, uh, detail or mark making to the drawing. Done with the head, but all over. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, do I want to spend it? I mean, I'm not going to sell the drawing or anything, and I'll probably get bored with it before I finish it. So I typically try to work with it a little bit and try to take what I can learn from it. So like next time I do another one, I'll know exactly what I need to be doing. I've already kind of learned a lot as is. All right. So I imagine he's got like kind of like big little patches of color or whatever these are on his arms. Just for fun. You know? So I'm playing around with some hatching just for fun. Ooh boy, this is something. This is a lot more work than this is a lot of like uh stuff that I never really do. I never really do any of this, so this is something. This is challenging. This is gonna put me on my edge, like, because I don't know what to do with this area right here. I don't know if I want to have it defined or if I want to have it like in this kind of like in a cast shadow, which means I can use less detail. You know, is that what I'm gonna do? Because otherwise I'll be making detail for detail's sake, and it really is that like a good use of my time with regards to the drawing? And so that's some of the stuff that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking, is this really the best way, the best use of my time for this drawing? Like, is there a way to get the most out of the actions that I'm doing to make it better, quicker? And I don't know. I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I could do, obviously, with any activity, there's something that you can do to make it a little bit better. You can improve off of. But I think I'm doing a pretty good job, especially for lack of knowledge in the program and lack of knowledge of using this type of brush, which is basically supposed to be like kind of like a pencil, you know. And so I'm using the detail layer to kind of put some of these cleaner hatching in there and see where that takes me, you know. And I'm doing them kind of curvy, you know, kind of make it feel, I don't know, this feels something like new. It feels a little bit different to kind of make them arc a little bit, you know. So I kind of like that, you know. That's kind of fun. So I'm just trying to, when I do these quick lines, I'm thinking about like I'm thinking about stretching. That's what I'm thinking about. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. I'm just thinking about how can I make these feel like to give it a finished, unfinished feel. So like, you know, I want it to be I want it to be complete but finished, right? And so that's what I want to do with regard to this type of drawing at the moment. So just kind of adding. So what I might do here is I'll go right here and we'll make this something. So I want to make this area dark, pretty dark actually, and still separate it from the fingers. So I'm gonna be doing a little bit of highlights on the using like a gray color for the fingers, and that kind of helps. Yeah, so in about 30 minutes, I'm gonna call it a day, and then I'm gonna start another like drawing. Ooh, another drawing of dinosaurs. Just maybe do a few sketches for, and then maybe leave some room for a larger one. You know, although I think this is way too dark, but you know that makes me uneasy making it this dark. And typically when something makes me feel uneasy is that means I probably should keep it like that, you know, because it means it's challenging me, and it's yeah, Like, so that makes me uneasy to do something that dark. Really does. Like, is this too dark? You know? So again, just playing around. Yeah, just seeing what, like, if I make the brush larger, what would that texture kind of look like? And it looks okay. It's not like fantastic or anything, but it's just something to kind of play around with. Now I'll go back to details and kind of play around with hatching on the bottom of the stomach again. So we're just bouncing back from going from like this abstract to something that's a little bit more concise, a little bit more detailed, and then seeing what is a necessary detail. Like, I don't know if like hatching this bottom area is something that really needs to be done, you know? But I'm gonna do it anyways. Yeah, so it's not bad. I probably could stand to be a little bit more concise with the hatching, where it feels more like it's how it's up there up top, where it's a little bit more done with intent. The ones below, I just kind of like threw there just to see what happens, and I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I really dislike it either, but at this point of the game, it's like, what are you gonna do? You can't really fix it, right? Can't really do anything about it. You just gotta keep working at it. Yeah. So it's an okay strategy. I don't know if it's the best. So you got this like little hatching of the base here. At the very least, it's always a good practice to kind of just play around with hatching. It just makes you a better artist if you can if you have the ability to do some confident hatching work, you know? So it's like I could probably get away with making like the bottom area super dark because he's kind of dark anyways in the bottom. So like, maybe you can make the whole like what if the legs were really really dark and they had like just some hatching on it. You don't see the claws in theory or the feet. You see like the outline. That might be a way to go about it. You know, right? That might be something to consider. This dragon's brachialis muscle goes right into the deltoid. That's hilarious. Oops. Yeah, so just playing around. I don't know. Sometimes I get to these points where I'm really uncomfortable like with what I'm doing. Like I don't like that dark belly. Like that belly is so darn dark, and I'm like, do I leave it? Do I leave it? And then a part of me is like, dude, leave it. It makes you so uncomfortable. Like it literally does. It makes you so uncomfortable. You should leave it because if you can learn how to let go of those simple things, it's just going to make you a better like artist individually, like as a person. That means you're able to put aside like small micro things. And plus, I think to myself, plus it makes the whole bottom area slightly easier to work with. Like you can just work with very just work super subtle, you know? Like this looks okay because it works with the stomach. He's so big, right? That all the shadows, just the light, his lower body's darker because there's less light hitting it, as it goes farther down. You know, so you might be able to get away with just like a contour line on the bottom. Maybe do a little bit more detail on the one in the front. Maybe not. Who knows, man? Just making it, just kind of keeping it loose, right? It's kind of fine as is, right? Okay. What if it's like his I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted now. I'm like doing random stuff now. That's how bad it is. Well, it's okay. We'll deal with that. You can always kind of dial it back in. You ever get distracted? I get distracted all the time. Like I'm trying not to be right now, but not that I'm bored with this drawing, but I just want to, some days you just can't draw for extended periods of time. And part of it has to do with like, I just don't know what I'm doing, right? I'm thinking like his wings are kind of like the equivalent of like Spawn's cape. Maybe, like Spawn's cape. Maybe, maybe not. Again, I'm not really one to be drawing. I'm not like this person that draws wings. So so I, like maybe it just kind of drapes like that, and uh, is it gonna have like I don't know, like these little like like bony hinges on them on one part, maybe another part like two bony hinges, right? Are the bony hinges flexible? Do they round out? Are they rigid? And those are the questions I don't know, or answers the questions I don't know. So I'm trying to be very loose with the lower half of the this this dragon type character here, because the less I do like answer those questions, the more loose the drawing can be down here. Because the moment I start to kind of define like the claws and such, like these claws don't make any sense. Like where's the fingers? Are they just like claws, right? Or are they like small little, do they only have like one hinge on them? They feel like they only have one hinge on them, right? And I think that might be fine for this drawing. I need to get to a dinosaur. I want to get back to drawing dinosaurs this month, not spend my time on a dragon-ish type character. Oops. You probably will never hear another Twitch person say "oops" as much as I've said "oops." Oops, I made a mistake. Oops, made a mistake. So maybe I just leave the bottom area kind of this like just it's defined, but I'm not really going for that for the bottom half. This like it gets more and more descriptive as you get higher and higher. And maybe that might be something to kind of consider. Okay, back to details again. Let's work on this arm some. And then tomorrow I'll start another page of like just warm up sketching, and I'll do my start working on my next portrait. I just finished one client's set of portraits. I was hired to do, like, she hired me to do 4 portraits, which is it's a lot. It's so many. And then the next one hired me to do 6. I'm like, oh gosh, go away. Because they take me so darn long, and it's not because of the time, but because I'm only able to work on them for a few hours in the morning. So typically this morning I would be working on it, and of course I do wake up really early, but I do a bunch of other stuff prior to doing the drawings. And the reason why is because I just feel much more at ease doing those things. So a lot of those things happen to include like exercising, doing some fun painting, something that's for me, and I don't have a deadline with these portraits, although they're running a little bit on the long side. And it's not like I am purposely doing that. It's more like it just kind of happened, I'm not purposely procrastinating, because I am doing a high quality portrait for them, and those high quality portraits take a long time to do. And because they take a long time to do, some days you're just like, ugh. They can be very, very they can be not fun to do sometimes, because you've done so many of them and you're just like you're burnt out, right? So you need to be able to take a little break and step back. I'm trying my best not to kind of sound like I hate doing them, because no matter what you say, however you say it, like it comes off like that. But I don't hate doing them. I'm just burnt out from doing so many of them, and I'm trying my best to get them all done. But I don't think I'm gonna get them done this year. I'm not gonna get them done this year. I'll get 10 more maybe. And unless, if I didn't work so much, if I didn't have other jobs, I would be able to get them done. But after like 9 o'clock, game over, man. It's like there's no time to do anything else. After 9 o'clock, I have like no time to do pretty much anything. So it becomes very difficult after 9 to do anything. So that's why you see me doing this drawing and such. And so I mean, I try my best. I might get a little bit done in the evening, but not really. And it's just like any other activity. It's a very exhausting activity to do, and I think people misconstrue like art as if it doesn't take any energy at all, and that's not true. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of mental energy. So you do get fatigued after drawing for, how about this? Like the best way I would put it is like go sit down, and all I want you to do is for 8 hours straight, just scribble on a piece of paper. I don't care if you fill up the whole thing. Take another thing and scribble on a piece of paper and do that for 8 hours straight. And tell me at the end of the day if you aren't tired. Because that's drawing. Even though you're not really thinking, even if you're scribbling and you're not thinking, your eyes are looking at the pen. You're doing some sort of hand-eye coordination. You're dictating where your hands are going a little bit, and your arm might get actually fatigued from doing the same repetitive motion over and over again. So it is tiring. It is very tiring, and I think there's this disconnect. It's super exhausting to do make art for extended periods of time. Like, you can do it for a long time if you got a lot of endurance, but don't you might be fooling yourself that whether you're doing actually good art for an extended period of time. Some people think they can do good art all day long, and the reality is their decision making gets less and less powerful through time. Like, they start making poor decisions with the artwork or the execution and all kinds of stuff. But I've been doing these type of drawings because I've been doing these drawings and paintings because it's actually it's freeing. It makes me it psychologically primes me for doing my portraits, and that way I feel less like I'm doing a chore and more like, hey, this is fun. Because now I've been able to do something for myself, which is just to kind of doodle. And because I was able to do something for myself, I can go and do something for someone else. I know it sounded kind of self-serving, right? But I feel more accomplished doing a little side project of mine, like my own work, than devoting on my entire time doing a portrait of someone or a dog portrait of someone's dog of whom I have no emotional attachment to, of whom I don't know, right? So I actually don't like these little patches of color, like little patches things. That was kind of like an off-shot idea. I don't like them, but I'm gonna have to keep them in here because it's a little late in the game to kind of change the motif. I kind of segued into a different topic there unintentionally. But man, I love doing them. But there's just so many of them, and you can get kind of overwhelmed at times, and you're like, well, you either do two things: you cancel all of them, or you just keep working on them, and you inform your customers that this is gonna be a while, and they just got to respect that it might be until next year. But you got to listen. You paid for a high quality product, and you're going to get a high quality product, and high quality products take time because I'm not a machine, and I have limited time of availability, and because of that, I think the deadline is questionable, and I can't give specific deadlines because I can't guarantee that I'm going to be working on. I'm going to be as productive one day as I am the next day. There's going to be some days I'm really, really good. Like the visual synapses are just coming, aligning, right? You're able to just pump out the drawing, and it's really working. And then the other days you're struggling just to make a decent image, and then I think that's another thing that people don't understand. Listen, it's like this. I guess a good analogy is when you go to the gym, are there days that you suck at the gym, or are you putting up PRs every day? personal records. And very few are like, yeah, I'm putting on PRs every day. I'm like, 315 one day and then 325 the next and then 335 the next, and it just keeps going. Never have I ever not had a PR. Then you're like, well, you're special. But like, it's just like any other thing, there's days that you are working, your mind is super clear, and there's days that your mind is not clear, and you just got to understand that. I guess, I mean, people got to understand that, like, especially with drawing, if you're hiring an artist to do something and you expecting them to be to do a good work, and then you expect them to also have it done like yesterday, you got to understand that these things takes time, and you don't know what they have to do outside of this art. Just like I shouldn't expect. I don't know what you're doing, what kind of like struggles you're having. We all have struggles, and maybe I'm like talking about kind of like hinting about my struggles, but I'm just referring to like in general. Like we all have a lot, our own little crosses that bear, our own little burdens we got to deal with on a day to day, and to some might be more uh, uh, severe than others, but to one person, uh, even though to you their struggles might not seem severe to you, but to them they're very severe and they're very real, you know, and you can't discredit how they feel about their issues, and I get it, man. We all have bad days, man. You can't always have perfect days, but there's gonna be lemons. There's gonna be lemon days. You're gonna have like a bad day that's gonna be like, my gosh, this is a awful day. There's gonna be days like that, and that's typically that's and drawing is not, artists are not immune to that with their drawings. Now caveat, they get better and better through time, where their bad days look like someone's good days, so like my bad day maybe like something might be a good day compared for some other artist, and then my good day might be a bad day for other artists who are like really really good, so we all have our own like base level. I still feel like this leg needs to be brought out more. But yeah, this is kind of like just a nice little break from my normal work, and I'm having fun. It's enjoyable. Like I'm thinking after today, this is gonna be, I'm gonna put a pin on this drawing and start something else, because I think I could do this same drawing in about not half the time, but definitely I can increase the speed, because I know what I need to be doing. Uh, I think I made it a little bit too dark, but I think that darkness, like dark tones, is a good thing to have. I think it helps with this piece. It may not help in another type of drawing, but I think it works for this piece, and I think it was a good little thing for me to kind of implement so that I can mitigate, so I can make it feel like it's more complete without actually having to work on it as much. And I'm not saying I don't want to work on it, but like, if I was doing this type of stuff full time, yeah, I'd work on it I'd finish the darn drawing. But I'm not. I'm working on multiple projects. You know, maybe someday in the future I'll be just do this full time. That'd be sweet. Just drawing dragons in action poses, or modified Charizards. But it looks pretty cool. I managed to salvage this hand. That's That's a bonus, right? I think that's a bonus to be able to salvage that hand and kind of get that in a position that looks quasi good. I'm putting like liver spots on his hand. I don't know why. Again, I think it was some idea that I thought would be kind of good to have. Like I thought it'd be a good idea to have. So this is something that I'm kind of trying testing out to see if I use like a gray brush, what would that look like? And it looks okay. See? Yeah, it's not bad. It's not like whoa, it's not groundbreaking, but it's not a bad thing that I did that. You know, I only got 5 minutes, folks. So I'm just gonna kind of maybe tighten up this area a little bit. And this is something I normally wouldn't have done. I wouldn't have created this kind of. I wouldn't have. I've gotten much better. Like this kind of quick. Whoops. This quick gestural line work, or not gestural, but like hatching. It's taken me a while to really know how to apply pressure onto the drawing tablet so that I don't get it too dark and so that I can have it consistent. And I think I've already told you this, but I don't use the line auto correcting feature. I don't know if that means anything, but I think it means something. It means I'm not using that auto guiding, and it means something to me. I'm not saying it's cheating, but like it means maybe the system kind of are like auto corrects anyways, which in that case, darn it. I thought I was doing this by freehand. I mean, darn it. I thought this was free-handed. So it's not bad. Not a good, I mean, not a bad first like, foray into kind of really using the graphite feature, the graphite drawing pencil feature, you know? So like it's its only it can only improve, you know? You can only go up. So that's one thing about drawing that's always nice is you typically don't go back down unless you like take a year, like a 5-year break where you just don't even draw. And you don't even think about drawing. You just stop thinking about drawing and all that stuff. But typically, you can only go up. You really can only improve from where you're at. And so that's one of the nice little things about art, especially if you're very thoughtful about your work, right? Some people will draw and they won't try to improve. They get to a certain level, or not even a certain level. They don't challenge themselves. They just do like the bare bare minimum amount of work just to get what they wanted, but they're not really pushing the envelope with their work. And so like this for me is kind of pushing the envelope. Like I typically don't do this. And I say that in the most honest of fashion. Like, this is something I just don't go out and hop and say, hey, I'm going to do a pretty detailed pencil drawing or Photoshop pencil brush drawing using their brush setting, right? Yeah, so I got like 1 minute. I'm going to do something that I've been thinking about doing. I say thinking, it's like I say that because I really have been thinking about doing it. It's just something kind of been in the back of my mind when I'm working on this piece. Like, yeah, pretty tight. All right, zoom in and put a little bit of the hatching here, and then we'll do some hatching right here. All right. So I think that's it for this drawing. As much as I like to keep working on it, maybe I might work on it sometime in the future, but I think it was a good study, you know. But yeah, it was a good little study, and I had quite a bit of fun doing it. You know, yeah, I really like how I did the face. I think that was the bee's knees. That really worked. And I might come back to it later, but it's one of those things where like you got to weigh it out. Do you want to spend more time in the drawing or not? And I want to, but I also want to start another one. Like, I want to take what I learned and try to start another one and make it a little bit better than this one. Like, because there's certain aspects of this one that I appreciate, and we oftentimes when we get drawing, we tend to try to really we want to make the drawing the best that we can, and part of it has to do with my drawings technique. Is like I typically don't like the finished stuff. Not by choice, but because I have. I understand that I work better by doing another one, and if I have to finish something, I'll finish it. Like I might finish this. I might not. Like this is just a practice. This is study because this is me trying to learn the program and just get better at drawing. I probably couldn't draw this in person because of the well, maybe I could. I don't know. It take a little bit of like reverse engineering, but I'm learning and I'm taking what I learned and trying to become improve from it. So like this one took me a while to kind of really get it. I don't know, get it where I wanted it to be, or at least the face. Anyways, I'm done for the day. I gotta get going. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed or you're not following me, please hit the button or please hit the follow button. I really do appreciate you and everyone else that views my work and views this channel or views where I'm streaming this at. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your Tuesday. If you're off today, relax. Have a beer. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know. have a burger. Enjoy your day. If you're off, if you're working, I'm going to be there pretty soon too. All right. Have a wonderful day. Pearson out.